Hello and welcome to episode number 92 of the Perth to Paisley podcast. It's absolutely melting. So if you're watching on the YouTube version, you're just going to collectively watch us melt and get sweatier and sweatier. It's horrible. If you're not in Scotland listening to this, that's what we're currently dealing with. I am Daniel and I'm as ever joined by my wonderful co-host, Adam Kennedy. Adam, how are you handling the heat?
I'm all right, mate. To be honest, the heat is a bit of a pain in the arse, but when you have the job that I do, I'd much rather do, manual labour outside in the nice weather than not, if I'm honest. It's much more enticing to go to work when it's nice weather than it be piss and rain, if you understand where I'm coming from. But other than that, I mean, I'm all right. I feel slightly betrayed by your good self, actually, appearing on the Men in Maroon podcast. And obviously my invite got lost.
Yeah, it did.
I listened to, the hosts slate the Perth Paisley podcast, which quite frankly is embarrassing.
We got
but not as embarrassing as I'm saying that we swear every 2 minutes, which I'm not having.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We were viewed as the kind of the late hour Hearts fan podcast.
The Raj little JKs that are just too busy mouthing off to focus on the action. Yeah.
In fairness, some of the episodes are probably pretty fair. Your rants have become synonymous.
But I thought I did pretty well to keep my
You don't swear as much. Yeah. I swear more out the two of us.
But sometimes this football club makes you swear. So, I'll try to keep a lid on it, but I didn't realise that it was that bad. I'll hold my hands up.
I'm all in favour of it, though. That can be our USP. We can be the sweary Hearts podcast.
Passion, isn't it? That's exactly what you want.
Also, have you listened to This Is My Story? Liam Corbett, every second word is a swear word, so we're fine. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But we don't really have a lot to talk about, let's be honest. Everybody has been sat, if you're a Hearts fan, going, can we sign somebody? Can we announce something, please?
Literally every single tweet that the club have put out is, this is nice, but I'd like to see a centre forward announced. And you're like,
basically.
Okay.
Basically, yes. But there has been some things going on. So we'll discuss all that. And then we're going to finish, like we did last week, with a quiz. This time I'm the quiz master and Adam has to ask.
Disaster written all over it.
I got a lot of abuse last week.
Did you actually? I want to know who was firing said abuse. Well done.
I had multiple people message me going, how did you, in your brain, clearly think of Velichka, but then go, it can't have been Velichka? They were like, that's worse than not getting it. But eliminating
those
them.
Little Who Am I's, man. Yeah, that's going to be a great addition. By all accounts, yours is solid that you've made up this week. So that's great. That'll be fun.
We'll see. But before then, we have actually played quite a few games since we last spoke. Obviously, last week's episode went out on the day that we were both at a Hearts game, but they were both separate. Yes. And they were both separate in terms of quality, not only just location, because I basically went outside my flat and saw Hearts, kind of the first team, like almost the full first team, play Spartans in a friendly, and you were joined by my dad for a period of time.
Yes, and we chat with Graham down in Midlothian to watch the B team take on Vale of Leithen, who I actually know some of the boys that play for Vale of Leithen. The first goal scorer I played with at Pennycook Astro. And there he is banging against the Hearts B team and Stephen Naismith in the dugout. So, yeah, it's a good laugh, mate. What can I say?
Well, that was the thing. My game involved a very drab 1-0 affair, with even the goal being a tap-in from a yard in an open net from Ewan Henderson. Whereas you were treated to a 5-goal thriller where we came back from 2-0 down.
Our very own Istanbul moment.
Yeah, very similar level.
Without a doubt. And a lot more on the line for the Hearts B team than, Liverpool.
That was going to be my question. Was this the first B team game you've seen?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is.
What were your thoughts?
Stephen Naismith. I was listening back to last week's episode and I heard you ranting and raving about Stephen Naismith's coaching. In early doors, I was like, I think McIver's right. He doesn't seem to go like through boys. He's not saying the sort of generic stuff that you'd expect a football coach at a lower level to say. I think you'd even alluded to that last week. every point that he made seemed to have like justification. You could see why he was saying what he was saying, etc., etc. And then for us to go 2-0 down, I don't think he kept that same, what's the word I'm looking for? That same composure, perhaps. Quite rightly getting a little bit more ratty, a little bit more aggressive. And in the end, he sort of was shrieking a bit like I picture myself I would on that touchline. So yeah, it was good.
Good. Were there any individuals, like for example, when I was at the Whitehill game, as I said, Mackenzie Kirk really stood out. Funnily enough, Jaden Ferguson, who I mentioned was playing at Whitehill, actually was one of the trialists who was at the Spartans game, but he only got...
Is that the boy from Celtic?
Yes, who were looking to get for the B team.
Right.
But were there any individuals that you... Because according to my dad, it was an even younger team that played. Like, there wasn't even necessarily the Mackenzie Kirks, the Scott McGills and stuff like that there as well.
They seemed, and this is no disrespect, they did seem fairly evenly poised. I mean, Vale Elite are probably the worst Lowland League team in history and now find themselves in the east of Scotland. So that's sort of where they're at, I think, really. It will be interesting to see if we opt to make B team signings as such. I don't like, it's easy for the Old Firm to do that because they've got a lot more money than we have. And we obviously don't have the same resources, but to see us essentially gamble on younger players to then give them that pathway into a first team, I think the landscape of Hearts transfers, signatures will be quite interesting in that respect.
Well, I don't have anything to speak about in regards to Spartans. There was just nothing going on. It was a terrible game. Couldn't really judge any players. All 10 outfield players went off on the 70th minute and were replaced by 10 at the same time.
Marvelous.
So, yes. However, a game that I was at, that you weren't at, but was definitely entertaining, was this past Saturday as the first pre-season game at Tynecastle, as Hearts played Bonnyrigg Rose, the new kids on the block in the league pyramids. Adam's not a fan.
No, I'm not a fan. As a staunch Pennycook Athletic, well, I say staunch Pennycook Athletic, they're my local team and I'm meant to hate Bonnyrigg, so I don't really give two hoots what the Rosy Posy are up to. So, but it was nice to smash them.
Yes, so, as Adam alluded to, we beat them 5-0. Now, you've obviously only seen the goals because if you weren't there, there was no highlight package or anything. It was just the goals. So before we get into the goals, I'll kind of speak about the game generally because the first half we went in 1-0 up. But I have no idea how we didn't go in like 4 or 5-0 up because I tweeted at halftime that Craig Gordon might as well not come back out because I only have 1 or 2 memories of Bonnyrigg getting into our half. Never mind getting into the box.
Leading only 1-0 and then the boos and the murmurs of discontent arrive. Oh, God.
Can I just say there was a fair amount of booing, complaining about Boyce. There was notable complaints about Boyce from the people right behind me.
Sorry, can we just start something here? Pre-season is about minutes and legs.
Yes.
Last year, if you look at Scottish results, it was the perfect case to give exactly that. Celtic got smashed 6-2 off West Ham. Hibs beat Arsenal. Rangers beat Real Madrid. This does not matter.
Didn't Dundee beat West Ham?
Huh?
Didn't Dundee beat West Ham after they just battered Celtic? Yeah.
Who cares? It's minutes and legs. And even then, last week, I sort of questioned why we were going down to England for the Wednesday nights. I didn't know or didn't use my brain because I'm an idiot to realise that Robbie's doing this intentionally to sort of get us in the rhythm of combating European fixtures and coming back to the domestic scene
and stuff.
Because we're only viewing them as workouts. Who cares?
Exactly. Very well said.
Yes, it was nice to batter them 5-0, but it wouldn't have mattered if we'd won 1-0, 10-0, lost 2-1, lost 8-7. Who cares?
This is a rare time where we agree on something. Normally we have like similar views.
Honestly, it boils my blood more than you can actually imagine.
I fully agree. I never understand people putting any precedent into pre-season. Even look at our pre-season last season. We got beat off a Sunderland team who were just starting their pre-season. And I remember I said it on the show. I remember people used that as the reasoning to go, see, we're going to be involved in another relegation scrap. We're going to be 10th. We're going to be lower half table. And then we went on to have one of the best seasons in our lifetime.
I wasn't overly pleased by the performance that day, but the consolation that you take from it is that it's in a friendly match and not a competitive fixture. If it's in a competitive fixture, then okay, you've got every right to moan because chances are you'll forked out for a season ticket. You'll spent the day, in the booze or what have you. Tanked up, even money on the match ticket.
And the game means something.
Exactly. There's 3 points at stake. Not in some meaningless fixture. I couldn't care less about Hearts results.
Fully agree. However, it was quite nice as I was there in the 25-degree heat, getting burnt, sat watching. Mainly, I will be honest, I was mainly focusing on the new guys because I've seen...
It's your first chance to view them in the flesh.
Exactly.
It's only natural.
So I kind of wanted to go through the individuals, and it helps that the first goal was scored by one of those individuals, as all the goals were great. I will say that. All 5 goals were very, very good.
I watched them back to kind of re-jog my memory, and yeah, couple crackers, a real variety actually.
Absolutely.
Within the goals.
And
you're about to kick off with.
The first one involves a really nice passage of play. Alan Forrest kind of doing what I said last week, where he just runs and plays a really nice 1-2, gets the ball back, feeds it into Haring, who just does a really nice back heel flick to George Grant, who's at the kind of back post area, fires it in, make it 1-0. His first unofficial goal, because it doesn't count towards anything, but technically his first goal for Hearts comes at Tynecastle.
Is it a friendly?
Exactly. But George, in his interview after it, said that he doesn't actually think Haring knew where he was, and that he just chanced it.
He did seem very surprised to receive it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Love the fact that he's lurking in those areas.
Well, that's the biggest point I wanted to add. It's a really nice finish in an area that those type of positions last season, if Barry Mackay wasn't occupying it, we didn't really have anybody in that area.
Yeah, and you'd often see the kind of loose pass and sort of teammates look at one another like, oh, I've just caught that Barry's not playing and we've not got anybody to fill those gaps. He's quite a curious case, George Grant, isn't he? Just because I don't think a lot of the fan base know an awful lot. Mm-hmm. And we're expecting really big things. So
well, I'm now convinced he's a wizard because we finally have someone who doesn't hit the first man on corners.
And my old man's been saying this for the best part of 40 years, watching Hearts, that we don't have anybody. So if we do have somebody that could take a lovely set piece, then that by all means is an absolute miracle. Joe Savage at the wheel. What can I say?
The amount of crosses as well he was putting in just generally, his delivery was excellent. There was a lot of times where that delivery ended up at no one because no one made a run, but that wasn't his fault. Like, he was putting it into the areas.
Only one striker at the club at this particular minute of time.
Exactly. But I was really, really impressed with Grant, especially. He also, I'm saying this, I will take this to my grave. He scored an overhead kick, but they didn't give it because the keeper then just went onto the line.
You betrayed me on the Men in Maroon podcast, but haven't seen it because, again, no highlights.
He's like, the ball gets crossed in from the Wheatfield side. It takes a deflection off the Bonnyrigg player. So he at the back post just immediately, his first thought is, I'm hitting this. Jumps up, cleanly connects with it.
Love that.
It goes like, if you're watching on the YouTube version, you'll see what I'm doing, but I'll explain it. Like, the post is there and the ball goes right up to the post, and then the keeper just quickly grabs it and lies down and looks at the ref. And the ref kind of just goes, yeah, that didn't go in. And everyone's like, that definitely crossed the line.
Was this first half when the
No, second half.
All right, okay.
Second half, where by this point it was like 3-0, I think. So everyone was just having a laugh. So it was kind of like, oh, it doesn't matter now, as opposed to it really mattering in the first half.
Yeah, Cruyff turns on the edge of our own area and all this jazz.
Exactly. But second half did start, and then, listen, I love him to pieces, but Alex Cochrane dives hugely for a penalty. And the most interesting thing for me is that immediately the ball was given to Haring. He didn't. He kind of went to show for it, but it was almost an assessment of, "I'm going to get this ball," which suggests, to me at least, that he's our new penalty taker.
And that's what I was going to say. That the the general kind of penalty taker headache still lingers on, doesn't it? Really. I mean, if you voiced who you'd probably keep Boyce on them, would you not? If you not said this,
I personally am always like, I think strikers should be on them, and I think Boyce should be on them. But if it's a personal choice and Boyce is like, listen, I'm all right. Like, if it's in his head that he's like, I think I missed too many last season, then I am fine for then anyone else to. Because, for example, Sean Clare was so consistent, really. Though. But Sean Clare was like one of the best penalty takers I've seen at Hearts. Did he ever miss a penalty?
No, you're asking.
I don't think he did. I don't have any memory of him missing a penalty. I know, exactly. That's not in the quiz.
Why did you not think of that?
I know, I've just thought of it now. But Clare was like, technically he was brought in as a forward, but he was most efficient at right back. And he was a penalty taker for a period of time. And Haring has never missed a penalty for us now. He's taken 4, scored 4, if you include this pre-season one. So
is that including shootouts as well? Because I don't even remember him.
Yeah, because like he scored Livingston last season in the cup. He was one of the four that scored there. And then on London Hearts, he has 4 to his name if you include this one. So yeah, Haring scored a penalty, which is lovely to see. He's immediately getting his confidence in. So that's great.
I still don't know who
we might bring in a striker who is like a penalty taker.
But then if Liam Boyce tucked a couple more, he could have been chilling on that coveted 20 mark.
I still would like Boyce, personally.
Man, I don't know. I say it should be a forward player, but I've always said that Stephen Kingsley is one of our purest strikers of the ball.
Kingsley could be great at it.
We previously championed Craig Halkett as well because he took them for Livingston.
Mm-hmm. We've got options.
We do.
Which is a positive thing.
And when was the last penalty taker that you were fully convinced? Sean Clare aside.
For me, Clare, yeah, but before that,
Paul Hartley?
idea. Probably Hartley. Hartley's the one that I can remember because like So was no bad at them.
But my point is, like, even that 2012 season, Danny Granger tucks his away in the final, but Ian Crocker says in commentary
he hadn't scored
like
one.
6 of 10 penalties.
Yeah, like he hadn't scored one for ages.
Jamie Hamill may be quite reliable from the spot.
That's fair. Jamie Hamill was really good. Was it a penalty he scored when then he took out Derek Adams?
I think it might have been.
Was that a pen?
I think it might have been.
Yeah.
Maybe need to check that, but it could well have been.
I feel like it was.
But they don't come around all that frequently. Hopefully we can find somebody for when the competitive fixtures arrive. You know, games that matter.
Yes, exactly. But speaking about Boyce, he did actually get a goal in this game. Really, really nice move. We pick up the ball in the middle of the park. It gets very quickly played out to Michael Smith on the, again, Wheatfield side.
He looked back to his best. I know it's only a pre-season game, but just like it's just reminiscent of yesteryear, just seeing him bombing on from right back as he does, a marauding right back, and just looking to supply. What a wonderful footballer. And
then he plays it inside to Liam Boyce in the middle of the box. It's a really nice finish as well. For everything was first time. Smith plays the ball first time, Boyce hits it first time. 3-0 up. We're kind of, at that point, you can just see Body Rugby like, right, okay, just minutes and legs now, especially. They probably wanted to cause a form of an upset, maybe, and try and get something, but...
The last fixture, I remember them playing at Tynecastle. Did they not get horsed off Hibs in the Cup? Like 8-1
something
or
like
something?
that. Yeah.
I
can't mind. But then, the birthday boy, Aaron McEneff, comes on, and this is why I'm still an Aaron McEneff fan. I'm still in the club. He only scores great goals. When he scores, they're all class. And what a raker. From the edge of the box, he just casually kind of rolls the ball forward with his studs and goes, I'm hitting this. And it just goes top corner.
Again, it's the kind of no real cares attitude, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where it's a pre-season friendly. This is where you're meant to try stuff like that. But what a strike it is.
Yep, exactly.
Could not have connected with it any sweeter, and it's right in the top banjo, so fair play to him.
And then
again, he's one that's sort of on the periphery. Sorry, mate.
You're right.
We're wanting to see more. I'd really like to see him given a proper chance
in his actual position
last season. Yeah, rather than being stuck out on the right or wherever else.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully he's given the opportunity. But again, like we say, more fixtures this year. He should be given that chance.
And then you won't have actually seen this because it obviously didn't make the highlights, but the most Ewan Henderson moment happened. There was a lovely little passage of play. Ball gets moved across. Connor Smith, who came on, did very well, I felt, when he came on. Nice little moment. Plays it to Ewan Henderson, who is 1.5 at most yards out, and somehow puts the ball over the bar. The ensuing goal kick then ends up at Barry Mackay's feet, who feeds in Ewan Henderson immediately, who in a much harder chance puts it past the keeper for 5.
I say that Liam Boyce is the only recognised striker, but Ewan Henderson's bagging a couple in pre-season.
And we just came out today that Robbie Neilson has confirmed he will be a part of the first team squad this season and will be playing, because Neilson was like, we have so many games. He was like, he doesn't know how often he'll feature in the European campaign, but in the league, he will be a regular player.
I think that there's a few youngsters that will be wanting to push for that first team place.
Mm-hmm.
Connor Smith, Ewan Henderson, Lewis Nielsen, of course, been brought in this summer. They've all been given a real chance to impress, albeit in pre-season. And if they can try and bring over their pre-season form into competitive fixtures, they'll want to give the gaffer and the coaching staff a real selection headache for a starting spot, definitely. And that can only be a good thing, because Robbie, like I say, hasn't been known for bringing through youth players, giving youth a chance. And hopefully this season we might see that. Hearts haven't had a good number of youngsters push through themselves. I don't mean to be harsh, for over a decade, because I don't really count the whole 13-14 going into 14-15.
Because they had to.
We had our hands were tied.
Yeah.
It's boys wanting or giving first teamers that little nudge.
I think that's fair. That's definitely fair. And that then rounded up the 5-0 victory. I know we're saying there that the games mean nothing, which they don't, but we're still to actually lose. And ironically, Vale Leithen are the team that kind of pushed us closest.
I was going to say still to concede, the first team anyway, are we? 4-0,
yeah.
1-0, 5-0.
Yeah, 4-0, 1-0, 5-0. Look at us. We're going to win the league, man. And one of the players that was a part of that defensive backline that kept all these clean sheets, we don't know if he's sticking around or not, because Joe Wright was a trialist in all 3 games, and we just don't really know what's happening. Because, I've just realised there was another game, because we won 7-0 in the testimonial as well.
Knew next to nothing about that. That's great.
Yep, Joe Wright played in that and scored.
These 5, sorry. Yeah,
these 5 games.
Sorry. Yeah.
We don't know what's happening with him, because the Evening News are reporting that he is being offered a deal, whereas the Daily Record are reporting that he isn't being given a deal. And considering we've not really heard anything in a few days, you kind of have to think that maybe the Daily Record are right and that Joe Wright isn't being given a deal. What do you... I know you haven't seen as much, for example, as me, because I was at the Spartans game where he was playing. I was at the Bonnyrigg game where he was playing. Neither of us were at the East 5 game, but he scored in that. But on your very little knowledge of the guy, what do you make of this choice?
Of my various reports. It's a case of who's right and who's wrong. It seems solid, but I just don't know if we're looking at it now and we're just that little bit harsher, that little bit more stubborn with regards to signatures in terms of players that have spent, a good duration out through injury. It is a gamble, but
it's a free gamble, though.
We have to have somebody else better lined up, surely. Because I can't see the club vying away from a guy that they've kept tabs on for a good length of time now, and to then not offer him the deal after he's started and scored, like you say. The thing for me is, I've heard various people say it, he's not really been tested.
That's what I was going to say. The quality of opposition meant he didn't have any defending to do at any time.
So I don't know whether would we keep him on for the English friendlies?
That's what I was going to say. That's why I don't get why this report's coming out now. Surely keep him for the Tranmere game that's being played as this releases, and in the Preston game.
Even till the first competitive fixtures come around. That Ross County game. Just if we'd had him for the entire duration of the summer, and then opted not to. Journals could ask Robbie why that's not the case. To do it sort of, I say halfway through, to do it after like the camp in Spain and then coming back and having these games with other games to come, I don't know.
He might want some security.
Right with me,
he might want that security, in fairness. He might go, listen, am I being offered a deal here? Because I've got other teams offering me trials that I need to...
We don't know. We don't know the role that he's playing, his agent's playing.
Yeah.
Hearts' general stance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. There is something feels odd.
It's definitely weird.
I don't know.
My review is he's massive. He's absolutely huge. Him and Lewis Nielsen are like terrifyingly big.
Can I just say, Robbie loves a trialist though. Was there not some DM that ended up in like the lower leagues in England brought on trial last season? Was it Jan Songu? Was that the boy's name?
Oh, that rings a bell.
He seems to take at least one trialist every season.
It's smart thing you do.
I don't think we've ever
signed.
Osman Sow started as a trialist, did he not?
Yeah, he did.
And then eventually put pen to paper. He's the only one that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
June was signed sort of September, October time after was it his Poznan deal came to an end?
Yeah, Poznan.
I can't think of anybody else that's been a trialist under Robbie and won a deal. So we just seem to have this little knack for doing so. I don't know.
Exactly. Well, we'll just need to wait and see who Hearts sign. However, we are in a league with 11 other sides. And of course, the big discussion at the end of the season was Hearts are in a very good place from the kind of neutral perspective, whereas all the other teams that are meant to be competing with them, your Hibs, your Aberdeen, your Motherwells, with the exception of Dundee United, who are also in a pretty good place, everybody needed a rebuilding job. And that has been happening throughout the summer. Hibs especially seems to have made 85 signings. Aberdeen, I've got quite a few in from who are quite... I don't know how to explain them. Like, Aberdeen aren't really signing any recognisable talent, which is quite an interesting route to go down, because they're maybe going with, listen, Christian Ramirez wasn't that known to the Scottish League, and he came in and was their only good player last season.
I know what you mean. It's like a perfect blend of British and homegrown talent and a couple foreigners that could be tremendous or rank rotten.
Well,
I don't think there's any real consistency with Aberdeen's scouting. I don't know if this is merely players that Jim Goodwin's... I mean, I know Liam Scales is one that he's picked out because he tried to sign him for St Mirren before Celtic swooped, and now he's obviously got him on loan at Aberdeen. But as for the others, can I just say, by the way, I don't know whether this irks you, but them signing Anthony Stewart to then make him club captain, again, it's not...
Who would you have in that Aberdeen team, though, that is the captain?
This is the big thing. I don't know. Ross McCrory, maybe?
Joe Lewis?
Ross McCrory's been named their vice. He'd have been my...
That's probably actually quite a good shout.
Or like, I don't know, I was going to say Johnny Hayes. Like, it's a bit experienced. He's only just come up to Aberdeen.
That's always the discussion there. It's like, can you airlift a captain in? Like, is that possible?
Yeah. Like...
We did that, though. In fairness, we did that with Gordon.
Yeah, but he's already had that.
I will say there is this. He's a very unique situation where he had like a decade
in the country
at Hearts and was coming in. Yeah, it's a very experienced
I'm thinking
player.
Back to like Robbie's tenure, where Perry Kitchen was made the captain like a couple months after signing. Was he not?
I was a fan of it. We did that was for merch though, so we could do the Captain America.
Yeah, those tees just went.
Yeah.
Market team had a blinder.
Exactly. But what do you make generally of Aberdeen's business, for example? Do you think they're going to be back up where they are viewed to be?
Probably, but I think it's only down to us, really, if I'm honest, with trying to compete on a domestic and continental front.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. You know, I see some fans saying that we'll easily reclaim third. I don't view it that way at all. I've also voiced my concerns with regards to these sides making moves, because you're not telling me that Aberdeen and Hibs can be as bad as they were last season. As much as it would be fantastic, as much as I would live up every single second, surely they cannot be as bad as they were.
I think that's pretty fair. But speaking about them, the Lee Johnson revolution is happening. I'm actually, as you're speaking, I'm going to check what their score is currently, as they are currently playing against Falkirk. But what do you make of Lee Johnson going 2018 style?
1-0 to the Bears. Come on.
Right.
Yes.
Don't laugh at this, because by the end of this podcast, they'll have won 3-1.
They'll won 5-1.
Yeah. But what do you make of the Lee Johnson revolution?
Kick on. It's evidently going great.
I was about to say it's a bad time to ask about.
Why have we done this? They seem to think they've signed the second coming of Messi and Aidan McGeady, all because he tore us to shreds in a pre-season friendly last season and was all right for Lee Johnson at Sunderland. I don't know. Hibs just seems scattergun.
I think they're taking that Levine approach in 2018 when it was like, I'll get as many as I can, and there's a higher chance that most of them will be all right.
Gel them all together simultaneously and hope that creates a winning formula. I'd love to see what would happen with Hibs. If it doesn't work out for Lee Johnson early on, does Ron Gordon make yet another managerial?
Surely he can't. Surely he has to give Johnson this season.
But does it go hand in hand? Like, if Dundee United perform really well under Jack Ross, is that a bigger kick in the teeth for Hibs because they're like, maybe they don't know how well they had it with Jack Ross? That'd be hilarious. I would literally give anything for a repeat of last season. Just have us miles ahead of everybody. Have United like chilling as another side which you view as semi-decent, and have everybody else toiling again. I think it'd be top entertainment, but I can't see it if I'm honest.
I'll be honest, and obviously, in a couple of weeks we'll get our actual predictions and stuff like that properly. I don't know why. I think Hibs are going to be quite good, annoyingly.
Do you?
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm basing it on. My logic is they can't be as bad, and I think everyone else around them, like, I think Ross County are going to fall off.
Aberdeen are more likely to get it right than Hibs.
See, I think Hibs are more likely to get it right than Aberdeen. Watch them both get it right and us finish 7th. And then finish 3rd and 4th. And
back in the Premier Cup groups before we know it.
Exactly. Is there any other business, however, though, generally, that you felt is either really good, really bad? What are your thoughts?
How have Dundee United signed Dylan Levitt?
Well, this is what was it. Yeah, this is who
300 grand! Oh, it's a steal. Lots of Man United fans, well, say fans. Well, fans. They're not really supporters. They just like United. But a lot of well wishes. And by all accounts, that just seems like a total snip. That's one I think that'll come back to bite us, if I'm honest. I'd have really liked Dylan Levitt.
The logic is, though, he's in a position where it's probably our strongest area, and that's a lot of money to spend on someone who would just be another one. He might be the best.
He's United's best central midfielder by some distance. Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to think elsewhere. I think Motherwell's business has been quite underwhelming, hasn't it?
Who have they even signed? I'm not even really aware of
Paul
it.
McGinn, Blair Spittle.
Oh, Blair Spittle, yeah.
Craig Sibyl to Dundee United's a weird one.
Yeah. God, yeah, that is a fair point, actually. I hadn't even really thought of Motherwell, because obviously...
I'm just trying to think of sides. Like, I'm going down last season's table.
Who finished? Oh, yeah, Ross County. I just think they're going to fall off. They've lost Regan Charles Cook. I don't know if they're going to have... Well, I don't know if Hungbo will be able to replicate the form he had in the second half of the season into the first half. They
signed him again, because he was only on loan.
Of course he was. I don't even know. I'm not sure if they've got him back.
I don't know.
I think
Malcolm Mackay has made quite a lot of signings. But are County the most active?
I think if they're not the most active, they're
Jan
one
Dan
of them.
does a good signing.
Yes, that's true.
Supposedly linked with us.
Yeah.
I don't know. St Mirren, Stephen Robinson just loves his ex-players like Trevor Carson, Mark O'Hara. Try to think Declan Gallagher.
Did you see his quotes this week?
No, what did he say?
Where he was like, the suggestion that I'm not good enough to play for Aberdeen is ridiculous. Like, I've got 9 caps already. And everyone's like, what do you mean, Declan, already? You're 31, mate.
In fairness, I know you can't live off one game, but that night in Belgrade, he was out. He pocketed Big Mitrovic.
Right, and then he's been... then he's Declan Gallagher.
In fairness, though, Aberdeen, I didn't think that'd be a bad signing. Motherwell's skipper.
I just thought
You're not having him, are you?
I've never thought he's a good player ever. Whenever the Livingston stuff happened, I was always happy that we got him. Oh, it's definitely going to happen.
Nailed on.
It's definitely happening. Yeah, but yeah, I think St Mirren aren't going to do especially great.
I don't know. I'm not blown away by anybody's business in answer to your general question. I don't know. I tell you who I cannot work out for the life of me the route that they're trying to take with their signings. St Johnstone.
Mental.
When your marquee signings are Jamie Murphy and Graham Carey, these are boys that were decent 6-7 years ago.
Yeah. And then they get beat 6-3 in a friendly off Inverness.
Were they not something like 5-0 down at half time?
It was something like that, yeah. It was something like that.
A barrel load in like half an hour.
Yeah, literally.
How has Xander Clark not found a club yet either? We could do a lot worse as a backup goalkeeper.
Is he not found a club? Is he away though? He's definitely away.
Well, he's not started for St Johnstone, so I can only assume that his deal's come to an end. It was the boy Paris.
Why are we not getting him as an option?
I'd take it.
I wouldn't want him as a starter, but as a backup, I'd take that.
Even if you look at the Scotland squad, he's in there with Craig. So when Craig steps aside,
that's baffling that you would think he would have something lined up.
Clark is like a cup goalkeeper or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
I'll take that.
Obviously, listen, St Johnstone had a bad season last season, but they would have been relegated without him. Like he kept them within it. So you would think that someone who was arguing, you can make an argument that he was up there for Player of the Year last season. Obviously,
their Player of the Year.
Yeah, not Scotland.
Yeah.
No,
just before anybody misconstrues that.
Yeah, no. Callum Hendry probably was because of his goals.
He was on loan at Kelly in the first half of the season.
Yeah,
I watched him several times in the Championship and he was doing nothing.
Yeah,
now he's back to move to Salford.
But you would think that Clark would have a club if he was leaving. I know it's St Johnstone, and he was like,
I was convinced he'd go to Aberdeen. I thought that was nailed on.
I thought that was
as a Joe Lewis replacement. Even United obviously losing Segrist. I think that's the talk, isn't it? That United are tabling an offer, but they haven't yet, and it's either linked to some Aussie keeper. So the Clark deal might be off the table. I can't remember the boy's name, mate. I should have.
Surely it's not Matt Ryan.
I suspect not, but I don't know. It's weird.
It's really very weird. I have no idea.
I don't know. I'd certainly take Xander Clark.
I take him as a backup, definitely. I take anybody as I take you as a backup than over Ross Stewart.
I wouldn't. Give me a couple of weeks.
Exactly. We'll see what happens. Well, all that's out the way now. We're on to the big thing, the quiz. Here we are. Right.
This is my new favourite segment of the show. We've only done it once, and I already love it to bits.
Now, listen, if you've listened to this podcast enough, you know I don't do things the same way as Adam. Some of these questions are weird. Well, one especially, because it was like, what?
And I was thoroughly enjoying that chat, looking at the rest of the Premiership. That was nice. And it's all God.
Right. We have 3 yes, 2 normal questions, a true or false, a who am I, and then a multiple choice as well.
See, like it.
Yep, variety here.
Nice.
So, the first question is, in the 05-06 season, who made the joint most appearances? There was 2 people who made the same amount of appearances.
Christ. Well, Stephen Paisley was the skipper, so I'd suspect
Presley was
him.
the skipper. Are you going with Presley as one?
Surely it's got to be it's got to be Craig as well, isn't it?
You are 50% correct.
Really? So Presley's one.
Craig Gordon is one.
Well, Craig Gordon's one.
Stephen Presley played 29 games, but was hurt for 7. No, love him. And the reason I brought this question is because they're reunited once again, as it was the gaffer, Robbie Nielsen.
Really?
Nielsen and Gordon both had 36 appearances in the 05-06 season.
I was tossing between Presley and Hartley.
No.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough.
So you're off to a great start.
Good question, that.
Right, well, we're going down the hill because here's the weird question.
This is a
Here's-
disaster. This is a big donut in it, 100%.
Here's the true or false. So you've got a 50-50 chance on this one.
I'm still gonna get it wrong.
Over 40% of our squad currently is tattooed.
What?
I am a tattooed man. I'm interested in tattoos.
Over 40%.
I'm talking. No, sorry. Exactly 40%.
Oh, exactly 40%.
Exactly 40%. So I'm talking here about visible tattoos that you can see. Because I don't know. Some folk might have some on their back that we can't see doing it. I mean, when you're looking at the pitch
Jesus.
in our squad, 40% of the squad is tattooed. We've got a 21-man squad.
21.
So if it is correct,
of that. So it'd have to be what?
5.
5.
5. Yeah. If we've got 21, so 40% would be 5. 5.6. Like whatever.
No, 5 of 21 is a 5 is a quarter of 21, roughly.
Yes. Sorry. What would it be?
So it'd be like 8, 9.
8.
I'm thinking
8 and a half. 8.5.
9. I feel like this is false. I'm trying to think of those that are tattooed. I'm thinking Andy Halliday, Barry Mackay. Would any of the back? No, I'm going false.
Well, you should have got definitely false because I was using the answer as the number of people because it is false.
Yes,
it is false. It's 21% of the squad.
Oh, right. So the 5. Andy Halliday, Barry Mackay. Boise got a tattoo?
Boise does have a tattoo on his thigh.
Thought so.
There's
George
one.
Grant?
Oh, it didn't even factor in Grant because he's not in the list. Right, it still would make it false, but that would take up 26. Yeah, Grant's one. Oh, I didn't even think about new signings.
I'm trying to think of others.
There's 2. One's obvious, one's not.
One's obvious.
I love that this is the main talking point of this podcast. I'm so happy with this.
Who's got tats?
God.
Oh, Josh Ginnelly.
Gino is the obvious one. The other one is hard because he barely plays.
Ross Stewart.
Ross Stewart. He's got his neck done.
That's not bad. That's all right. I redeemed myself there toward the end.
Exactly. I basically gave you the answer by failing at maths. But
thanks.
Right. Question 3. This is the multiple choice one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going back a wee bit here.
I'm crying out loud.
How many goals did Hearts score in our 1957-58 league winning season?
Oh, come on!
You're getting multiple choice here, though.
All right, okay.
Now, just before I say this, second place Rangers scored 89. So, Did we score A, 125, B, 132, or C, 143?
132.
You're correct.
Yes! 132. Come on!
You're smashing it so far.
Not bad.
Yeah, terrible trio contributed to that, obviously. But yeah, so second place Rangers scored 89 and we scored 132.
Bloody hell. So that's what, 43 goals different?
Yeah.
That's essentially another half of their goals.
Yeah, basically.
Bloody hell.
Willie Bald was very good, basically. Nice. Question number 4. What number did Craig Whiten wear in the championship season?
15.
He's got it again.
Bang.
Fire.
Have some of that.
15. And then finally, the Who Am I? So I have made
cap on here.
I have made over 100 appearances for Hearts. I have played in Scotland, Finland, England, Spain, Bulgaria, and Cyprus, yet was never capped for my country, and was quoted as offering an apology to the fan base after an embarrassing performance in Europe.
Oof. Over 100 appearances for Hearts.
Yep.
Give us the nations that he's played in.
Scotland, Finland, Spain, England, Bulgaria, and Cyprus.
Finland, Bulgaria, and Cyprus are throwing me off here. Jesus. This is a good one.
Yeah, I'm chuffed with this one.
Finland, Bulgaria, and Cyprus.
I'll be interested to see how many people have got it already.
A centre forward?
No. a midfielder.
I've got Bruno Aguiar in my head for some reason, but it's not Bruno. I don't like the face that you're pulling. Apologised for a performance in Europe. Who the hell's played in Bulgaria, Finland, and Cyprus? This is haunting me. Bruno Aguiar played for that Nicosia, did he not?
I think so, yeah.
Nicosia.
Or maybe I definitely
who the
know.
hell are you going to play for in Finland? Helsinki or something?
I will say I haven't kept track of who they played for. I should have done
Go
that.
on to their
Sorry.
wiki and say.
Okay, yeah, I'll find that.
Because I did
should
that
do
for
this.
Velichka and you last week.
Right, hold on then. I nearly out loud said who it was.
Oh, yeah. I did exactly the same last week. That's a rookie error.
Right, so he played. Oh, but I don't know
Did we
which one.
sign them from one of these obscure nations?
No. So the Bulgarian team they played for was Botev Plovdiv. So I'm assuming was based in.
Yeah, know all about them.
The Finnish team was. I wouldn't use this word to describe the player. It was Honka.
Oh God!
We signed him from Gymnastica.
So we signed him from Spain.
Yeah, and we sold him back to a Spanish club as well.
How many goals did they score for Hearts?
It says here 3, but I can remember 2.
No, I was going to say Miguel Gallardo. I don't know.
I'm going to need an answer.
Oh, don't. I know, this is shocking. Bulgaria, Finland and Cyprus are really doing my boxing.
The English team he played for was Yeovil.
Yeovil?
And then he came back to Scotland and played for Ross County. That's a big clue.
Went on to play for Ross County.
That's a big clue.
Midfield. How can you have played for Hearts, Ross County, and gone to Bulgaria, Finland, and Cyprus?
Yeah, all of that happened in between Hearts and Ross County. He also played in La Liga.
And he did for Ross County?
Yeah.
Who is this, Don?
Right. I need an answer.
Now I'm thinking like Ruben Palazuelos. I have no idea. I don't know. Don't say just yet. This is really annoying. I don't like being on this side.
It's horrible, isn't it? Because like 800 names go through your head.
My mind's going blank. I really have no idea. I'm gonna kick myself, aren't I? Am I gonna kick myself?
Maybe. I don't know.
Don't give us that. Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell. So now I'm telling you, but there was a clue that I didn't give because I think it makes it too obvious.
Go on.
So the player was in question. It's happened to me last week and it's happened to you this week. Ruben Palazuelos.
Oh my God, no!
Do you want to know what makes this even worse that you didn't get that? So, listeners, we are recording this the night of the 12th of July. It's going out on the 13th. I made these questions on my lunch break today at 12 o'clock. At 25 past 12, Amoruso Lets It Run tweets, on this day in 2007, Hearts sign Ruben Palazuelos.
No way!
I promise you that was not linked. I didn't find out that he did it.
Myself.
But as soon as I saw that, I went, I've just spent ages getting all these stats, and Adam's immediately going to go, because he would have been in your head. So the clue I was going to give you...
I didn't see that tweet from Scott. I was too busy crap time.
The clue I was going to give you was my time at Hearts was referenced last year by my current club's social media, as he's back at Gymnastica, who we signed him from, and he scored last season, do you remember? And it was a gif of him taking off all the shirts of the clubs that he's played from.
I think I might have retweeted that.
And Hearts was the first one, the Ajax stripe kit.
I don't remember him at Ross County at all. When did he play for Ross County?
I have no, 2015.
2015?
No memories of that at all. I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
How old is he?
38, I think. He is 39.
7 years. So he'd been 32 when he walked up to
Yeah.
Ross County.
I have no memory of that. I
I
don't.
don't remember that at all.
Were Ross County in the Championship?
Well, 2014-15, we won promotion from the Championship.
Yeah.
So did he sign in the summer of 2015?
Yeah.
So it would have been our first year back up, and Ruben
He
Paisley
was. He
playing
was.
for Ross
He was.
County.
They were in the Prem, so he must have played against us.
I don't remember that at all.
No, neither do I. But according
I'm
to
raging with myself.
It's
Gymnastica.
it's
I was like, that
infuriating, isn't it?
sounds like a club that Ruben Paisley would sign for us from.
By the way,
Honka.
the
Who the hell
game,
are Honka?
the game that he offered an apology for is he offered an apology on behalf of the team for the
Was that
travel.
patch game?
No, it was the 4-0 loss to Dinamo Zagreb, and he apologised to the travelling fans on behalf of the team.
Did we not win the
We did. We won the reverse 2-0.
Yeah, 2, that's right.
So yeah, that was. I'm chuffed with that. I'm chuffed he didn't get the Who Am I.
So angry with myself.
I love that you did what I did last week, where you went, maybe it's him, and then just got rid of
Yeah,
it.
just shove that out there. Oh, not. I need to get you back next week. He was going to be one of my Who Am I, so because he's just a random obscure player that we remember for no reason. My dad used to say that he was the only Spaniard he's ever seen that cannot play football. And
That's harsh. I love that. I loved him. Whenever you know that away kit, the one with the light blue and the long navy blue arms.
White and blue stripes.
No, it was Yukio Bankas. Light blue.
Oh, the kind of two-tone.
Yeah, with the sleeves.
Yeah,
He's who I think of in that kit. I really remember him in that. That's fair as well. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, so the quiz. I really like the quiz.
That was good, mate.
The quiz
is the elite. I don't know why you're taking so
long
to do
You
this.
did very well there, though. You did very well. You got 3 out of 5.
Not bad. That was not bad.
I'll even give you a bonus point because you got all the tattooed people as well. So you got 4 out of 6.
It's all right. That's all right. We take those. We move on to next week.
And incredibly, we've basically got an hour out of this.
Near enough. We did well dragging out about all the other numpties that compete in this league. So yeah, that's good.
Very happy with that.
I'm raging that you nicked one of my Who Am I's. I've got like a couple names as well that I'm just gonna go through.
I've got a list.
Have you?
Yeah, I've got a list
as well.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Oh no, it's gonna be exactly the same.
I know, because we're doing it that the Who Am I's are only players from our lifetimes to make it easier for us. Because if it was like,
because it was so easy just then.
Yeah, exactly. We're currently 0 for 2, and that's within our lifetime. But yes,
no, we're gonna have to do the research on all these other dons now.
I know, exactly.
To look clued up so that we can just go bang.
Yeah, exactly. But let us know if you managed to get Ruben like Adam didn't.
The ghost of Ruben Paisley lingers on.
But yeah, massive thank you for listening to this. It's been fun. It's been very hot. We're both currently
I am
dying.
Boiling, can I just say?
Absolutely dying. But we hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please share it about the place. If you've been watching on YouTube, leave a like, subscribe, and comment your own thoughts on the quiz and how well you did as well. We'd love to hear that.
Cheating in the comments. We know
exactly. Yeah, exactly. If you haven't been listening to us on an audio platform, please leave us a review on whatever platform that is. It really helps us. We are at Perth to Paisley on all forms of social media. We're also on the email because it's 2022. perthtopaisley@gmail.com. Adam, where can they get you on social media?
They can get me on all the socials at Adam T. Kendall. And what about yourself, mate?
I'm at DMcIver22. We'll be back next week to discuss, hopefully, some new signings, the English pre-season games as well, because they're coming up here as well on Saturday. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Keep the faith, Mon the GITs!